Welcome to the Tunepact podcast. I'm your host, the punk rock pop, Lee Pierce. And today we're going to be talking about content saturation and platform dominance. And we're lucky enough to have as our guest, Cash Star. You on, please do us a favor and introduce yourself.
Hi, you guys. My name is Cash Star. I'm an artist out of Chicago. And nice to talk to you guys.
And what genre of music are you into?
I'm into like hip hop, pop, R&B, a lot of different rock, even like a lot of different types of music.
Yeah, and I found you on TikTok with your newest track. You want to tell us a bit about that and the synth pop side of you?
Yeah, I just dropped a project recently called Love Me As I Am, and it's basically just an album blending. How would I put it? Just synth pop, hip hop, other little genres as well. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song. I don't know how many times I've listened to it. Like I was telling you before, I came across it on TikTok and I'm like, who's using a sound like this? I didn't realize it was something new. I thought it was something from like late 80s. Like it's legit, like it's good synth pop, man. I can't wait to hear more on that. And the way I found it was today's topic, actually, which is content saturation and platform dominance. What that means in layman's terms is platform dominance is focusing on one specific social media platform and putting more time into that, kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. And content saturation, like it sounds, taking that platform that you're focusing on and just flooding it with as much cool content as you can. And that's how I come across you, because still I've been following you for, guys, got to be 4 or 5 months now. And every time I log into TikTok, it's like Cash Star posted a video, Cash Star posted a video, Cash Star posted a video. And it's awesome because you got some really good numbers on TikTok for being pretty underground. So when that's kind of your marketing strategy as of late. What brought you to the idea of doing that and focusing? Because I know you're on YouTube and the other platforms, but you really stress TikTok. What made you decide to try doing this?
Just watching TikTok explode throughout the past couple of years and being like other people. Other people at the time were kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to be on this app dancing, this and that. And I kind of had to open up my mind and go, all right, like I have good music. I know I can go further with this music. Am I really shortening myself like every day by not posting on TikTok? So I don't know. I always grew up like watching like a lot of like business stuff and marketing or whatever. One of my favorite like artists to like ever market anything was like Master P. Master P, you know, he had the No Limit, he had the label and everything like that. During that time period when Master P was like very popular, he had something where they call it guerrilla marketing or whatever. And I'm like, how come nobody really does guerrilla marketing on the internet? He's solely marketing these things by himself, coming up with these posters, coming up with this and that, dropping music weekly or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to take that same format and I'm going to put it on to TikTok. And I'm getting popular on everything now, YouTube shorts and everything like that. But I spent a good 2 years kind of trying out things on TikTok. And once I finally got what I wanted to do, I just started using that content. I'm not afraid to use even old content, but just using that content strategy on every other platform. So I'm spending all day posting and scheduling things, but I would say, like, yeah, I mean, it works. It works most definitely.
Do you usually post just about hourly, or is that what you try to do with your scheduling and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the algorithm because, you know, the algorithm kind of switches. Like right now, I feel like posting a lot favors depending on what you're on. Like Instagram, I'll post a couple times a day. I guess TikTok, I'll post roughly every hour and a half to 2 hours. And then on like YouTube short and stuff like that, I'll post the same amount on TikTok, like an hour every 2 hours.
Yeah, and that's one kind of off topic, but YouTube Shorts, people don't realize how important that's getting because they just extended it where it used to be, it had to be, what was it, under 60 seconds. But now they extended it, you can have up to 3 minutes. And I know for the podcast itself, we cut the episodes into, we released the whole one, as everybody knows, but we also do cut it into little shorts for like really good little content throughout the thing. And those just blow up. Like, I mean, YouTube Shorts is really a good place to start hitting. If people haven't looked into that, get into it because you'll end up in an algorithm that you won't even know how you got there.
No,
And
most
you'll have one video, all of a sudden you come back 2 hours later, it's got 2,000 views. I mean, it happens real quick. And then as soon as you have a couple like that, keep posting. Do what Cash Star's doing. As soon as you see something, go at it. You got to strike when the iron's hot.
facts. Momentum is everything for sure.
Well, and like you'd mentioned too, you don't mind reusing old content, especially stuff for like TikTok when you're pushing every hour, hour and a half. Nobody can create that much content. I mean, you just wouldn't be able to sleep or work on any projects.
Yeah,
Oh, and I mean, being able to utilize that, use that old content the way you do it, it's kind of cool though, because when you're reusing the older stuff and I see it pop up, I don't really know if it was an older one or if you repost it because you post so often. I don't know if I'm seeing some older content or if you're reusing some. And that is cool because it gives you a chance to make better content. Because when you want to post as often as you do, you got to make a lot of content and you don't want to just throw up crap. You know,
for
you
sure.
got to stay on brand, keep that tight and looking good. And you're really good at that. What is some advice or strategy you've got that's helped you keep creating this high quality content? Even though I mean some of the videos are only 5 or 10 seconds, but people that haven't done video and you don't know that still takes a bit of time. It don't take just 5 minutes to edit that and put it up either. So, what's some advice you got to be able to keep doing that at the pace you do?
I'd say always you always want to stay between an algorithm. I feel like a lot of people don't understand the algorithm or their algorithm necessarily or whatever. Like you could look at somebody else who's an artist who does something in a different genre and you could kind of like switch it up and recreate that piece of content. And also I would feel like a lot of people don't understand have fun with doing it, you know? Like cuz at the end of the day some things may work, some things may not work. There's things I posted where it didn't work the first 10, 20 times I posted it and out of nowhere it just exploded. So I don't know. Just have fun with it. Don't put too much pressure onto yourself. But I feel like most of the work is just getting those reps in.
Yeah, and like you said, you got to have fun doing it because marketing is not a dirty word. And like to me, it's an art form. I'm a musician, I'm an artist, but marketing's always been what I love. It's an art form to me. And when you
Sure.
see artists that actually make their marketing part of their art. Like you can tell the ones that are like when they're writing a song or they're working on something, they're like, "Ooh, I know what I'm going to do with this," and they've already thought about how they're going to market something, and they work that in to their whole overall plan. But before they're even hitting the studio, they're thinking about how am I going to get this out there, and it shows because they're having fun with it. They're turning that into part of their art. Instead of, oh, I've created this beautiful thing and now I got to sell it. If I wanted to be a marketing person, I'd be a marketing person. I'm not. I'm a musician, and and people need to try to get out of their heads of that because marketing's fun, man. I mean, it can be
Yeah.
super creative. I mean, some of the videos you've shot, man, that one under the bridge is such a great shot. It's got such a great vibe. That's one of my favorite ones you've done. But you always do these cool locations. You're not afraid to get out there, dance around a little bit. I mean, there's people walking by. Like, I mean, a lot of artists have trouble with that type of stuff. They're comfortable on stage, but they're not like out in public. They don't want to do podcasts, even, because
Yeah.
they're not good with people. They're not good at putting themselves out there in that way. And you, man, you just push right through that. Cause like a lot of the time, yeah, you just see you on camera, but there's people standing around staring at you. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
people do. Like, I mean, that's why I do this. It's just me and the camera right now in my studio, man. I don't want to be out there trying to do this in front of people. How
Yeah.
do you get yourself comfortable with that?
Honestly, I have so I've been working with the same videographer for the past a little bit over 5 years, maybe. And at first, she used to tell me like, people are walking past, like, don't worry, like, you want to do this, right? Like, you're gonna do this music stuff, right? Like, if you want to be a star in this, like, like, people are always gonna be watching you. Like, why do you care about what they think? So I don't know, dude. Just like me, just making videos and all this stuff, bro. Like, you just get used to it. It's like, what are people gonna say? If they're just walking past thinking about anything too hard, it's like, like you could just never. I don't even know how to put it, but I don't know. you just gotta build like kind of like, sorry for my language, just like a fuck you button. Like it's
Yeah.
like fuck it, like just do it. It's like
Oh, 100%. And especially, I mean, you really can't go anywhere without seeing some younger generation out there doing some really trying to be want to be influencers, doing some really ridiculous, embarrassing crap in
yeah,
public, whether it's a weird whatever dance is trending or what. So like just remember if they can do that, I mean, you're an artist. You could find it yourself to get out there and get over that because everybody's filming stuff in public now. If you're
yeah.
doing something actually cool and laid back, it's not going to be as embarrassing as what I've seen people film it. I mean, come on now. But yeah, you're right though. You gotta just find that switch in your head to just shut it off. You
Hmm.
know, because in the end of the day, your goal is you want people to pay attention to you. So you can't be picky about that then. You
Yeah.
know, you can't say I want to be in the spotlight, but no, only when I want to. You know, you got to be able to put yourself out there and accept that, you know? Plus, I think that gives, well, like in seeing you doing the stuff out on the street and stuff like that, that's a cool way for fans to connect with you too. You know,
Yeah.
because everybody's got that, hey, I was just there. You know, and
Yeah,
when they
no,
see you in front of them,
definitely.
that gives that connection that you know, and artists want that with their fans, just like the fans want it too. Do you ever
Yeah.
think about that when you're picking like your locations? Like, hey, this is a big location that if I tag it, it might get seen more, or people are going to connect with it. Or do you look more just at the vision and what it's going to look like?
Um, I would say just recently I really started to look at the vision and what it may look like. But I'd say I've always tried to pick locations. Like right now, I'm literally like in Arizona right now. I'm not even in Chicago. I'm from Chicago, but I'm not in Chicago. I literally came out here for vacation. And the whole time I'm on this trip, I'm like, okay, I'm in Arizona. When people from Arizona see this, they're gonna be like, or the content like that I'm posting, they're gonna be like, oh snap, like he's here, he's here. I was just there. The same thing you were just saying. It's a good way to like build and connect with fans or whatever it is because it builds familiar. It builds like a familiar like a connection. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody wants to feel everybody. Well, it's important for humans to be a part of something bigger than them. You know,
Yeah.
that's why you see sports fans so rabid. You know, I mean, everybody needs something to be a part of. And for a lot of people, that musician, that band that they connect with, because they aren't talented enough to do it themselves, or they just don't have the guts to try it either. So having that connection to something bigger than themselves, and then be able to, like you're saying, like you're in Arizona, so your normal crowd's not going to just be seeing this. So you're going to be tagging for location, and then that opens you up to a whole lot of people.
For sure.
And that's some I never realized because I do TikTok and stuff like that too. How important tagging location is. You know, if you're just sitting at home, you ain't got to be tagging location, obviously, if you don't want to. But when you tag a location, it really bumps the algorithm and where and in the feeds and where you're going to be. Really,
Definitely does.
and a lot of people that weren't going to see you before.
Definitely does. Some of my bigger videos have been places where I'm not, like New York or Utah. It's always been places where it's not necessarily my home.
Yeah, because everybody's always looking for something new, and especially in
Yep.
today's world, we're just kind of grasping at straws, trying to find some happiness, you know.
Yep.
So I mean, it's so awesome when you find music you weren't expecting. What like you, like I was came across it, then I was like, damn, man, he only lives a couple hours from me. I might actually be able to get to see this
Yeah.
guy sometime, you know. Like, I mean, it's even at my age, I love coming across new bands and be able to connect with them, even in a way like that by location. It's really important for artists to do that. And you're doing an incredible job at all the stuff that you're working on. What has been some ups and downs with doing the content saturation, just focusing on TikTok?
I would say I'm one of those people who are I'm like very like focused. So like I feel like I spend all day just focusing on content. At first, it's like, oh, you could have this like explosive moment of content, and then like the next day, it's like, damn, you're getting low views, and it kind of would like mess with you a little bit or whatever. I would say days like that. It doesn't necessarily happen to me anymore, but it could get in your head a little bit because it's like, damn, like, am I doing something wrong? But it's like, nah, you just got to go with the flow and just have fun with it. Like I've been saying, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Is you got to have faith, and it's a long. You got to look at the long game, not the short game. Especially, I mean, it's hard with the access that we have to metrics and analytics nowadays.
Yeah.
You can see by the hour what your views are and stuff like that. And I mean, yeah, you got to pay attention to your analytics and your metrics to know what's working and what's not. But do those groupings of like 7 day. You don't need, I mean, yeah, it's important to check, but man, that'll drive you nuts if you're
Yeah.
looking at stuff like that every single day. You're like, how did I lose a follower? What the hell? What did I do? Like, you can't let that eat at you. And you obviously pay a lot of attention to that stuff. What has helped you look at the bigger picture in the long run instead of focusing on that? Why didn't this video blow up like the last one did?
Yeah. I would say if I had to tell an artist, telling people on your podcast right now, I mean, if you didn't post today, rather it did good or bad, somebody's seen you today regardless. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that is important, and I see it so often. I'll probably talk about this in almost every podcast episode I do. Is like, let's say you've got a three-piece band. Well, counting the band itself, each member and the band, that's 4 social media profiles on
Yeah.
every platform that can be posting. The band posts something, and then each member can share it across each one. I mean, it's so easy to get a lot of content. I think that's what people worry about too, is not having content to post a lot. So to bump those numbers up, like, well, if I'm not, because everyone will hit a point where you can't create brand new content to post every single day. You got to set out like, hey, it's Saturday, I got nothing to do. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna spend today making content for the next 2 weeks. And especially
Yeah.
nowadays, all you need, the shorter the better. 15-second, 30-second videos, absolutely perfect. That's what you want. And
Yeah.
like long form, even like I was talking with you, try to keep podcasts around 30 to 40 minutes because nobody's got the attention span for longer than that. Hell, I don't, and I'm the host.
Mm.
So do you ever do that as I say like, hey, on Saturday I'm going to see how much content I can get shot and edited so I can just schedule and take like 3-4 days off?
Definitely do. Definitely do. I always just try to I always spend a good day whenever I can to just get a lot of content. And then throughout the week, I'm constantly thinking about, okay, what am I going to do with this piece of content? I mean, there's some people who, well, sometimes I do that too. There's some people where it's like, oh, I'm going to go shoot this piece of content and have what I have in mind already. But like I said, some things may not visually work out the way you think it's going to work out. And then you got to pivot from there. So, yeah, I would just get, same thing I just said, I would just get a bunch of content if I'm somebody or whatever, and then figure it out from there and go with the flow. There's stuff in the week that just happens. Like, all right, let's just say, for example, something in the world happened that everybody right now is talking about 100 men versus one gorilla or whatever it is. That's a topic. If you made that piece of content, a piece of content that was like a week before, you're like, oh, okay. I may shoot a video and figure out, all right, how can I connect this with this at this previous moment? And then it connects with people, and then it goes, depending on how you deliver it.
That's a really good way of looking at it. You're right, though. And that's, I mean, because whether a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to have to like jump on a trend or something. Well, you ain't gonna jump on the trend, but if the video is even the slightest bit related, even if you can kind of force it and twist it by
Yeah,
whatever description you put in there or title you put on the video, you can use that hashtag. I mean, you can end up anywhere, especially with a trending topic and stuff like that. But that's something, come to think of, I don't even think I had that on my list of notes to talk to you about. You don't really use hashtags. So, like, all your TikTok followers, almost like 100% of that is organic traffic. And that is unbelievable.
yeah,
Why, man? Like,
yeah,
hashtags be so much easier, man. I mean,
yeah.
it's awesome, but what brought you to that decision?
I would say I don't. Yeah, some videos I do. A lot of videos I really don't. once you start to put yourself in the algorithm or whatever, if you're someone who posts as much as I do, people already know when I see this post, it's already gonna get pushed to those people who who are on the who are in sort of the algorithm that I want to get pushed into. So it's kind of like, oh, there's no point. And then sometimes if you lose too many hashtags, it kind of throws off what you're trying to do. So that's something I would really tell people too. It's like once you're in the algorithm, you'll know when you're in the algorithm because you'll post with no hashtags, and then 100 people comment, "Oh my god, about this, about the same topic that you're posting towards." So like, yeah, I mean, it's really just that.
So have you been overall happy, or like what's some issues you've dealt with focusing on the one platform and just trying to put out as much high quality content as you do?
Um, I would say one issue that I had, and I'm just starting to get over it, and it even extends your question. When you post on one platform, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work on the next platform. So I wouldn't say I'm really had a problem with posting on one platform, but it kind of did make me open up my mind because I may get something from like Instagram Reels and think, oh, let me try this on TikTok, which I would still do, and I still do. But whatever may work on Instagram may not work on TikTok. Whatever may work on Shorts may not work on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So I would really just sit out there and like be on every platform within your niche and just learn what are like learn people's habits. Really focus on what you want to see.
Yeah, well, I wish I had the um what the website is right now, but if people go online and Google, you can look up, there's websites dedicated telling you what demographic use which platforms.
Yeah.
And it goes right down to what time of the day. So, and that's what you can look at, because you can look like, well, why didn't this work on Instagram, but it worked on this? And then you see it could break right down to what time of the day you posted it. Because, well, this demographic, yes, they're on both of these, but they're on usually at 8 o'clock in the morning on Instagram, but they don't
Yeah.
check their TikTok till lunch break at noon. So yeah, I'll have to. I wish I could look it up. I wish I had my. I look it up right now, but yeah, look online. There's several websites dedicated to that, and it's so important, especially if you want to do like a platform dominance and focus directly, just specifically on one. 'Cause especially, there's a lot of people leaving platforms for other reasons and stuff like that nowadays. Look this stuff up and do your research, because that's one thing you can never do is too much research. If you
Yeah.
want to plan stuff up, man, plan ahead, do your research. There's nothing you can't accomplish. If honestly, there's websites and apps for everything. Get on Reddit, look and talk to other people that have done this stuff. And especially like you said earlier too, and we talked about, is talk to people not in the genre of music that you're in. Because if everybody does what the guy before them did, nobody's going to pay attention because it's what every guy did before you.
Yeah.
I love seeing when like punk and metal artists start, because like I said, I'm a marketing guy, and I'll look, I'll be like, oh, they stole that from hip hop. Or I'll see a
Yeah.
hip hop artist, something, I'll be like, oh, they thinking they're punk rock now. And I just love it because I'm noticing it. I know the other people are too. And
Yeah.
it's so cool to do that because, I mean, you can only learn so much from your own group and the people like yourself. It's great having a tight knit community, but if everybody's the same, nobody's different. You got to still stand out, whether it's your music or your marketing. Get out there and talk to other artists and be like, hey, how did you do this? What tips do you got for me? Because if we don't learn from each other, what's the point? It's all about networking nowadays, especially with social media. So get in those Facebook groups and stuff like that and look up other artists and see what they're doing. But you got to be comfortable stepping out of your comfort zone for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Excuse me. All right. So, well, let's talk about you a little bit more. So, like I said, I came across your music on TikTok. It's been at least, oh man, it was earlier this year, like probably January. And that song, I was just blown away. I haven't heard anything like that since like I was in high school, and it's
Thank you.
so cool. What brought you to want to try bringing back synth pop, man. It's great.
Mm. Um, what would I say? Really trying to think. I mean, growing up, like my parents, they really listened to like. I mean, my family's from like the Caribbean or whatever it is, and like in the Caribbean, like very like musical people, like. And I would say my parents really grew up like we grew up listening to like a lot of like '80s music, like R&B, pop, like dance hall reggae, stuff like that or whatever it is. Um, so I don't know something about like pop. Even though I love everything that I've listened to growing up, something about pop music, especially like synth pop music, it's just like so eye catching. Synths in general, just like that one like instrument in general, is just so eye catching or ear catching as soon as you hear it. So I'm like, okay, why don't I try to bring this into this generation? Because I know if I'm pretty young, I would say, and people are, if this catches me personally, I know the people from the past and present, they would be able to connect with this.
Well, yeah, for sure. Like I said, I was like, God, I'm like, why is he using this sound? And I'm like, oh crap, that's his.
Yeah,
Because it sounded so like authentic, like late '80s. I was like, I'm like, he wasn't around for this. What is going on?
no, definitely
But
not.
yeah, no, it's such a great sound. I love seeing older music and more unique stuff coming back. And you're right though, the synth has such like I was like you'd misspoke and said about talking about seeing, but like, you're not wrong though, because when you hear synth pop, your mind instantly goes to the 80s videos that were the high-tech digital, which is like half animated. I'm seeing, pink
Yeah,
neon and like, almost Tron type shit.
yeah,
It takes you there. There's something about it. And your videos do a great way of doing that though too though. With the videographer you work with, the sound,
yeah,
that synth sound, you see it in the lights, you see it in the way he shoots and what you do on your stuff.
yeah.
It's an incredible mix. And like I can't wait to see what you do with this. Because if
Thank you.
anybody's gonna bring it back, it's gonna be you. So I wish you the
Steph.
best of luck with it. That's for damn sure,
Thank you. Thank
man. All right. So, what's some last advice you've got for um artists that want to try focusing on one platform and just flooding it with good content, short, quick content?
you. Yeah, I would say, I've said this before, but I mean, pick what you want to do. First of all, make good music. That's before anything. As soon as you feel like you have something that you're able to brand yourself with, go forward from there. Once you have that, look between your niche. Because I'm gonna be honest, everybody kind of thinks you could be original, but there's gonna be somebody that kind of thinks you sound like so and so. Somebody that thinks, you know what I'm saying? So try to build within that connection that you may have between another artist, I would think. And just post content from there and have fun posting content. Because in the end of the day, if you want to make it in music, you have to post. You have to make content and make it a part of what you do. Don't think about it as something like, oh my God, like this is a job for me or anything like that. Like, no, if you're not marketing your music, nobody's gonna listen to your music. If if you do music to, I mean, it's not all about money, but if you do music just to do music, okay, that's cool. But if you really want to make it in music, it's a part of the job. Everything has its thing that's like a sort of like a thing that you don't want to do next to it, but you got to fall in love with the things that you don't want to do to be able to do what you want to do.
Well, yeah, and especially, I mean, like I grew up, yeah, I'm 49, so I grew up with MTV and
Yeah,
seeing like no one does music videos really anymore. And let
definitely.
alone do, and if they do, that's all they do. They don't do short stuff like you do for the actual marketing side of it, which I
Yeah,
just see a 15-second music video. That's where
yeah,
my brain goes instantly. I don't even see it as
yeah,
marketing. I see it as another piece of your art. Because ain't
yeah,
nobody going to look back at like the heyday of MTV and call those music videos marketing. No, it was a freaking art form,
yeah,
and it's the same way with the market, especially what you do, and I mean, and I'm sorry. I get passionate about stuff. I love music
Yeah,
videos. I love visual art, and like I want all my art together. If I can get it all, I want my paintings, I want my videos, I want my music all in one place. If I get one artist to do it, man, that is awesome. And you're one of those that's got that, because I probably spend 20 minutes a day watching your videos. Just because it'll
appreciate it.
pop up like, oh, for you, or my feed. I'm like, oh, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. I go
Yeah,
through and watch every one. As you're a great artist, I can't wait to see what else you do. One more thing you'd mentioned, talking about niche. That's a word that always kind of gets bad rap, actually, because
yeah,
people think niche means like, oh, it's kitschy, it's cliche, it's not an important, but like honestly, pretty much every genre of music is its own niche. And it breaks down into more specifics of that. I mean, there's hip hop, there's, go and then break that down into how many. Same thing with rock or country or punk.
yeah,
You've got subgenres and everything. So don't be afraid. I mean, if somebody calls you a niche band, who cares? That means that you've got a niche. That means there's a fan base for it.
yeah.
Don't dive into that, man. Throw yourself into that when you find your people and you find your crowd. I mean, who cares what somebody else wants to call it, man? I mean, I think it was Warhol said, man, make art. Then while they're deciding if it's good, make more. You know?
Yeah, no, most definitely. It's one of those things where it's like people overcomplicate it, and a lot of people that fail at marketing and have a hard time in any area, they want to do too much. Like I understand, like like you might sit around and oh, I'm getting tired of doing this, which is fine. You can switch it up every once in a while, but it's like okay, if I'm McDonald's and I know people want burgers, I'm gonna keep making burgers. Why am I gonna try to make spaghetti or something? Like, give people what they want.
Oh, exactly. That's a really good point. All right. Well, I think we're about wrapped up here. So, what do you got coming up that you can promote?
Most definitely. Well, right now I'm rolling up my album, so I'm pretty sure by the time this comes out, I mean it should be coming out in June. So I'm coming in June. It's called Run Rain Music.
All right. And what's that looking like? What do you got going on that? What's your favorite track that we should watch out for?
Favorite chat that you should watch out for. I mean, it's already out. It's called Sorry.
Okay. Yep. That's the one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks again for coming out. We've had a few reschedules, but that's life and that happens. And it worked out great. Hey, have fun on vacation.
Thank
And
you.
like I said, thanks again for coming on. And everybody, thanks for watching. And we will see you later.
Thank you for having me, you guys. Have a nice day.